Hi, I'm Amber and I've moved from the UK to the US aged 28 with my husband Josh and our little boy Rory. I'm on a mission to explore the American culture and all of the differences from our old life in the UK. So join me as I travel around the States, seeing the sights, eating the food and meeting the people, with some very special tour guides along the way. And to say thank you to the country that's welcomed my family, I'll be collecting lots of mementos and raising funds for some wonderful American charities. So be sure to hit subscribe and follow me on Instagram and TikTok as I discover the land of opportunity.
Good morning, New York, and welcome to another episode of Amber in America. Hi. You could probably guess where I'm headed today by the backdrop behind me. Spoiler alert. Brooklyn, that is the Brooklyn Bridge that you can see behind me. I'm walking at a fairly fast pace because this is a weird fact about me. I do have a little bit of not a fear of heights or anything like that, but a fear of large machinery and mechanisms. And just as I was going under those arches behind me, I looked up and my legs just went to jelly. So I'm just going to look back on this footage and appreciate it from the same perspective that you guys have right now, because looking at it live I'm going to end up having to crawl, which is not going to be a good look. So anyway, what are we doing today? Let me tell you. I have been to Brooklyn Bridge before. I've had the old photos that you see all over Instagram, but I have never walked across the bridge and I have never been to Brooklyn. When I put that post out on TikTok a few weeks ago asking for New York recommendations, there were a good percentage of the recommendations that were in Brooklyn. And now my For You page knows where I'm going or where I was headed. I'm seeing lots of stuff from Dumbo, Williamsburg, downtown Brooklyn. So I had a couple of hours in my itinerary this morning and I thought, right, I'm going to get up early. I got here at 8 a.m. I'm going to walk across the bridge and I'm going to explore as much as I can fit in that time. And then I'll show it to you all. So we'll see what we can find. It's probably going to be a bit of a shorter episode. As I say, I've only got a couple of hours and I'm imagining there's going to be a lot of walking between areas in that time, which is perhaps not going to be the most interesting. But of course, it has to start with a walk across the bridge. I couldn't just drive. So if you are getting onto the bridge from Manhattan side, it is Park Row, Center Street is what you want to be putting in for your directions. The actual entrance to the bridge, the footpath to the bridge, is very, very easy to miss. And it is a fair old walk before you actually get onto the wooden slats that I'm walking across now. So even if you are just coming up to get, the photos for your Instagram, whatever it is, prepare to get a decent walk to get the good angles. It's just off of the financial district, so it's a good place to go if you've still got any energy left in your legs. It's a good place to go for after you've done maybe the Staten Island Ferry or Wall Street, or even the 9/11 Memorial is not far, definitely walking distance. And on a day like today where the sky is clear, it is a stunning walk as well. The bridge from path end to path end, or sidewalk should I say, it's just over 1,800 metres. So again, it's a decent length of walk to get across it, but it's well worth doing. It's completely free, so there's not much in New York that's free to do. And obviously when you get over there, I've heard, I can't comment yet, but I will, I've heard it's like a whole other kind of vibe to Manhattan. Top tip as well, make sure that you're always looking behind you, because as you can hopefully see behind me there, the Manhattan skyline is something to behold. And out of both sides, across the Hudson River there, Washington Bridge, which is features in a lot of the famous photos, and then a good view of the river behind there as well. You're going to see a lot of helicopters as you're walking across, because there's a lot of helipads on the edge of Manhattan. There's one on Wall Street, as I mentioned, and you're going to see a lot of runners and a lot of cyclists. The pedestrian bridge is actually split into two halves. One side is for walkers and one side is for cyclists. So just be careful if you're here when it's busy that you're not getting run into by a bike. And another fun fact I learned, because there's a couple of like plaques and bits of history information on the arches that I can't look at. I'm having to keep my head down. The bridge in 1886, I think it was, when it was finished, was the longest suspension bridge in the world. The only negative thing that I would say about it is that obviously, because it is also a vehicle bridge, it's very noisy. So I kind of wish how amazing it would be if this was just a pedestrian bridge. But sadly, it is not. Look at there's an NYPD van here, and I've yet to capture some footage. Look how ridiculous that little toot toot. Chase me, I dare you. But yeah, I'm just coming off the other side now. That's me gone through the two big archways. What does this say? Brooklyn Bridge reconstruction, erected by the cities of New York and Brooklyn. Reconstruction in 1954. That's not too long ago, so I feel a little bit safer now. Okay, I'm just coming off the other side. I think that's all the fun facts I have about the bridge, and hopefully you've got a good view of it as I've been walking here. I've got my wide angle camera on and my arm is out as far as I can hold it. My bingo wings are burning from holding it out. But anyway, I'll catch up with you when I find a cool spot in Brooklyn to show you. See you soon. Okay, if, like me, you have a very limited time in Brooklyn, I have like an hour and a half in my schedule, so not a lot of time. Or if you have just walked the bridge because you wanted to walk the bridge, there are 3 things that you can do right off the bridge, like nothing's more than a 10-minute walk, where you can get some really cool photos and see some of the local area. I say this as if I know. This is from my research, so we're actually going to go and do these 3 things right now in this very short space of time and see what I actually think of them. So when you come to the end of the bridge, you'll see that little bit on the floor that I just filmed that says welcome to Brooklyn. The bridge will then split into 2 parts, so you want to take the left part and go down the section with the small flight of stairs on the left, and then turn left immediately and walk straight, and then you will literally be straight into Dumbo. And Dumbo is somewhere that you see all over Instagram all of the time, and I will tell you for why. You might recognise this view here. It is a very cool spot. Definitely makes for good photos. I'm going to try and get a couple of pics myself with the old selfie stick because I don't want to ask someone to take my picture. That's just me. If you want to do that, then go ahead. I walked down that street there, which is Water Street. Water Street is quite long. But I walked down Water Street and I went to a little cafe on the corner there. You can just see, just kind of in the middle of that shot, you can see Brooklyn Bridge peeping through. So we're really not far from it at all. But this is Washington Bridge. Dumbo, by the way. Where did I just see a Dumbo sign? Here you go. Dumbo. Can't remember what it stands for. Something about under something. Oh my god, terrible tour guide. But yeah, it does stand for something. And I think it's getting more and more popular on Instagram and TikTok. It's very aesthetic, there's no denying. The blue sky definitely helps, but even without the blue sky, them having to drive really slowly so that they don't run people over. Right, I'm going to stop and take some pictures here, and then you can walk with me to the next spot. I just had to stop in very quickly here. There's a train going over my head, so I hope you can hear me okay. This is the underpass under the Manhattan Bridge, and you can see in the background hopefully the big Dumbo sign, which is a really cool spot for a picture as well. This is literally around the corner from where I just was, and if you were here on a weekend, there is a flea market here that looks really cool. I'm kind of sad I'm not here at a weekend actually, because it looks like all of these picnic tables that you see around the edge are filled with like vintage items and lots of traders and stuff. I don't know how you go about getting a store there, or whether it's the same people every week or anything like that, but it's a really cool, cute spot. Look at all these fairy lights above my head. Again, feeling interesting, very industrial, very quirky, and yeah, if you're here at the weekend, it's definitely worth stopping because it's no more than 100 yards from that photo spot. Just get the Dumbo sign in the background. Dumbo! And also here, I'm guessing this is probably moved at the weekend, but since the market isn't on, there is a little sign of like things to do in Dumbo, because Dumbo is not the biggest area of Brooklyn, but there's so many different things that it says to do, and actually one or two of the other things that I'd seen on my quick bit of research is listed on there, so I'm reassured that that is a cool thing to do. But yeah, I'm gonna head over now to my next stop, but I thought it was just worth pointing this out. There's loads of, they've got a whole list of attractions, shopping, pizza. Apparently pizza is very, very good in Brooklyn in particular, so it sounds like you need to have some pizza if you come over here. There's places to eat, clothes and accessories. Also something that I really wanted to do when I was in Brooklyn, which I'm not going to have time to do, but if I walk past anywhere I'm definitely going to pop my head in, is thrifting. So anybody that sort of stays in touch with where I'm going and what I'm up to, I did say that when I came to New York City I really wanted to do thrifting, and I had a couple of people very kindly reach out to me and say, if you're in Manhattan, that ain't the place to go thrifting anymore, unfortunately. The kind of traditional thrift shops as I know them have been replaced with like vintage shops where you're actually paying a bit of a premium because they call it vintage and like washed out a little bit and then add an extra zero on the price. So I haven't dedicated any time in my trip here to go thrifting, but I do know that in Brooklyn there is a slightly bigger thrifting scene. Again, there's a lot of the vintage stuff, a lot of indie clothing and things like that, but you can perhaps find some more bargains than you can in Manhattan. And when I next come to the New York area, I'm going to try and go upstate a little bit, maybe across the bordering state of New Jersey, and try and do some actual New York thrifting. Cheap thrifting. There are definitely some designery thrift shops that I want to go to, but a lot of them are actually by appointment only, so I didn't manage to pull that off this time. On to the next stop. So I have the same piece of advice for Brooklyn as I had for Manhattan. Keep your eyes peeled. Try and stay above ground as long as your feet can manage the walking, and just look around, because as I was walking to my next destination, I've walked right past somewhere else that I know somebody recommended to me. I actually noticed the sign here for, see that, Cha-Cha Matcha, and I thought, oh, that looks really cute. So here I am walking along and peeping in this window and thinking, oh, that looks cool, but I've already had a hot drink this morning. And then I saw this sign that says Empire Stores, and I was like, that rings a bell. And then I saw this sign here that says Time Out Market New York, and I was like, that one I know. That one I definitely know. This is a food market, and something you should know about me, if there's a food market, I'm there. Not even necessarily to eat. It is like 10 in the morning right now, and I just had a hot drink, and I'm not in the slightest hungry, but I am in the slightest desperate to go around and see what they have in Time Out Market, because it had so many good reviews, and I think it's going to be quite quiet in there right now, which means I'll be able to get some good footage. So let's go in and see what they have on offer. Okay, so there is the Cha-Cha Matcha, which does look super cute. I love the pink and green that's going on. Ooh, that says the rooftop. I'm gonna see when I've had a walk around if I can go up there, because that looks really cool. How vibey is this place, by the way? Wait, I need to go back and show you these disco balls. Look at this. This is the vibiest place I've ever been, and I love it. I'm slowly falling in love with Brooklyn even more than Manhattan, and I didn't think I would say that. But this is just so much a bit of me. Really casual, really chilled, good food, gorgeous buildings. So I'm just walking down one of the corridors now. Some really cool artwork. Hi. I don't know if any of this is for sale, but that's funny. Oh, that's a dead end. That's just a restroom. Okay. Let's go back and find some food. Right. I can see around the corner Time Out Market. You see the signs?
Time Out Market, New York. I've read a lot about this. I've heard that there is all of the good food here. Wine caves. Oh, wine and cheese. There was a sign just there that said games night on a Friday. Mardi Gras event going on next week. Okay, we have a pasta bar. What's this one? Steak sandwiches, burgers and hot dogs. New York Stark. Mexology. That sounds really cool. I'm assuming that's like Mexican-y type food. Salad bowls. Jacob's Pickers Southern Comfort Food. Oh, beer, biscuits and pickles, but not the biscuits that I know. Pastrami Queen. Oh, I hate to say it, but I can't do pastrami after I've been to Cat's Deli. I just don't think it'll be beaten. Taka ramen Japanese soup bowls. Brooklyn Wild vegan for non-vegans. That's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Vegan for non-vegans. The Maze Project. I don't know what that is. Steak, chicken, shrimp, pork belly chorizo. Okay. Oh, Thai food. I haven't had Thai food since I got to America, actually. I went, okay, please hold. Essa bagel. I specifically remember Essa bagel being recommended to me on several separate occasions. Oh, I wish I was hungry. Look at those. I might have to come back here a little bit later when I've done my next little piece of the tour. There's more stuff down here too. Oh my goodness, there's bubble tea there. There is just about everything you can think of. And look, like this place that you get to sit. Salad and focaccia, crepes. Okay, I want to find this wine bar. Let's have a little look. And it's nice and quiet. This is, like I say, it's about 10 in the morning, so it's lovely and quiet. I can see why. Wine cave. Okay, obviously there's nobody here right now, but let's have a look. Oh my god. Can you see the taps there? All the bottles are attached to the taps. That's so cool. Oh, and they have like little directions of how to enjoy it. This would be the best place for a little date. A little date night. The bar is closed. Cool, they have little information about the wines on the wall. I love that. I'm in my absolute element here. This is the coolest little food market. It's very similar to one that I used to love in Edinburgh. And it does, I just feel a bit more at home here. I don't know why, than I do in Florida. Probably a lot to do with the cold. Okay, let's walk back up and see if I can get on the roof. He was asking people for their reservation names, so I'm going to assume that I'm not going to be able to get up on the roof, but no harm in asking. Good news, guys! The roof is open to the public, so I'm on my way up now. It's only the 5th floor, so I don't know how high that can possibly be, but let's have a look. Welcome to the rooftop. What does it say? Oh, time zones. Oh, that's a really cute piece of art. Let's head outside. Oh. Again, I love that there's like nobody here. I feel like I have this whole place to myself. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's so peaceful up here. So much room to sit. I can imagine in the summer this must be absolutely heaving. I mean, how's that for a view? I can't lie to you guys. In the short amount of time that I've been here, I feel like I can recommend Brooklyn more highly than like Manhattan. I am absolutely in love with this place. This is just so stunning. So stunning. It's taking my breath away a little bit.
have more stops and very little time, but I don't want to leave. You know why I'm saying that? It just feels a bit less touristy. I know there's a lot of people taking photos of the iconic spots and stuff, but this just feels, particularly in here, I didn't feel like there was any tourists here, honestly. It all felt like locals that were just coming out for a bite to eat or a coffee in the morning. I guess at busier times that might be different, but it just feels like you could just have a more normal day here than you can in Manhattan, if that makes sense. I might just be talking a lot of shite, but I definitely get a cooler vibe here than I do from what I've seen in Manhattan over the last few years. And if I was coming again for a short space of time, I think I would choose Brooklyn. I wonder how controversial that might be. Okay, I'm going to get some pictures and then I'm going to move on to our next stop, reluctantly, because I don't want to leave here. So just around the corner from Time Out Market is, Jane's Carousel, but it appears to have a building around it, and the pictures I've seen definitely did not have a building around it. I wonder if that's a seasonal thing. Let's investigate. Spin you around so you can see. So I literally actually could have come out the side door of Time Out Market just there, but I came back out onto Water Street, and then I've walked around. There's Manhattan Bridge, there's Brooklyn Bridge, stunning view as always. And that is Jane's Carousel, which is apparently very famous. Although it's only been there since 2011, according to the sign over there. And yes, I do wonder if this building around it is seasonal, or at least the glass doors maybe open all the way around, because the pictures I've seen of it, you can see it from like far away. And have a little ride on the horses, and obviously the idea is you have a little ride on the horses and you look out over the Hudson River. That is a very beautiful merry-go-round, I have to say, as merry-go-rounds go. Not that I'm a connoisseur of merry-go-rounds, but I would like to take Rory on that. And yeah, have a little ride on the horse and check out the scenery. Wowee. I know the blue sky is helping a lot with the aesthetic here. I'm sure when it's pouring down with rain or the grey gloomy skies that it doesn't look the same, but I am just in awe of this city. Okay, I'm gonna have a little walk along this very short piece of promenade and tell you about a few things that people have suggested that I do that I haven't got time to fit in. And then I should have time to head to a different area, so I'm gonna head to Williamsburg, because I had a lot of people suggest Williamsburg as another borough, and it is slightly towards the north, because this afternoon for next week's episode I'm going to be heading up to Queens, and I'm meeting a creator up in Queens. He's a really cool guy, so stay tuned to see Queens through the eyes of a local and through the eyes of somebody who has never ever been to Queens before, which is me. And as I say, Williamsburg is a little bit more in the northern direction, so that kind of gets me in the right, or towards the right area to meet him this afternoon. So that's why I've chosen to go there. Versus some of the other places that were suggested in Brooklyn. So Brooklyn actually has a lot of green space, more than I realised. There's quite a few parks here that will come up quite high on Google searches. I'm trying to remember what they're called. I should have looked at this before I came on. Prospect Park was one of them that I remember. There's also Brooklyn Bridge Park, which I feel like I'm very close to, but I just don't have the time to investigate further today. But yeah, there's a lot of green space. There's also a botanic gardens here, which looks absolutely stunning. I've seen pictures of that with the blossom trees, so I imagine that's a really nice place to go in the spring and probably the fall too. They have the fall leaves. Ah, waves! Oh my god. Okay, try not to get wet. So I think in the spring and the autumn and even the summer, if you can bear the heat and the humidity here, there's probably a lot of green spaces that you can explore. But I decided, given that it's February and all of the trees look like these ones behind me, absolutely bare. Oh, there's some behind me there too, you could probably already see. I didn't think that it was worthwhile me going to these places right now, and I'll definitely come back in a different season and explore those because they got very highly recommended. There are also a couple of museums here that people have said are worth going to. One of them I'm pretty sure is called like the Brooklyn Museum, and there's also a Navy Yard, which I obviously will promise a lot of historical information, which I'm sure would be really, really cool place to go. But again, museums take time, and I'm trying to just do a very brief walking tour. A couple of people said to me I need to go to Arthur Avenue and eat my way down the avenue. Unfortunately, that is a few miles from here, so I haven't had a chance to do that today, but I would definitely want to go back there because, as you all know, I'm a massive foodie, so I want to try all of the food everywhere that I go when I have time. So honestly, I think I could spend a full day in Brooklyn and get like 3 solid meals and maybe a few snacks in too. People said Arthur Avenue is good for Italian American food, which is obviously a massive thing in New York City. That's not breaking news. So I would definitely try some pizza there. I would go back to Wester Bagel too, by the way, but that's just around the corner. What else did people say? Obviously thrift shops were recommended here. I actually haven't seen any, but I don't know if I've just been unfortunate. I've only literally walked down 2 or 3 different streets and found obviously plenty of things to see in the short amount of time that I have here, but I haven't noticed any particularly appealing looking vintage or thrift shops, whatever you want to call them. So I would have to come back and dig into that a little bit deeper. Brooklyn Lager. If I was here in the evening, I would definitely be having a Brooklyn Lager, which is something that I've actually had several times before. Don't know why, but it seems to be quite popular in the UK, Brooklyn Lager. If you ever go to like an American place to eat in the UK, Brooklyn Lager is often the lager of choice. They must have something good going on with their marketing in the UK. It's often the lager of choice, and it's quite nice. It's a little bit dark for me. I'm more of a Corona girl, you know, a bit of a light, yummy lager. But if I'm going to drink beer at all, ooh, I'm going to walk along here because you can see the Statue of Liberty faintly in the background. Probably no better than the view I got from the Staten Island ferry, but worth pointing out. I'll spin you around so you can see. I'm going to zoom in my camera. Oh, I have to try and keep my hand very steady, but there is the Statue of Liberty. It's about to get covered by a boat. So look now while you can. Very cool. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up my little Dumbo tour here, and then I'm gonna head to Williamsburg and see what that's about. I need to try and get some lunch in an hour or so. So I'll see if I can find somewhere in Williamsburg that I recognise the name of, because a few people have mentioned that. I'm gonna head to a place called the Mini Mall. That was suggested to me as a place that's got a few different eateries and shops in a small space, because I'm probably only gonna have about 20 to 30 minutes there before I have to head up to Queens. So that is Dumbo, and as I said earlier in this video, even if you are just walking across the Brooklyn Bridge because you want to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, make that extra 30 minutes to an hour to walk through the streets of Dumbo, and you will not be disappointed with the views, the food, the architecture. Very, very cool place. Definitely going to be back. Okay guys, if I didn't love Brooklyn enough, I've now found heaven number 2. So again, something you should know about me: my number 1 favourite thing to do is eating. My number 2 favourite thing to do is shopping. And I feel like the first half of this video going around Dumbo, there were so many cool places to eat, lots of beautiful scenery, and now I hopped in a cab and went about 15-20 minutes up and in a little bit from the water, and I'm now in Williamsburg. This was another kind of borough of Brooklyn, I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, that a lot of people had recommended to me as somewhere that's cool to just kind of meander around the shops. There's also some cool eateries here, and I can confirm as soon as I got out of the cab I saw about 15 places that I want to shop. So I'm going to go and shop, and I'm going to take you guys with me. And yeah, Williamsburg doesn't seem like the place that you're going to get the scenery and the like aesthetic Instagram photos, but it does seem like the place that you're going to bag yourself some really cool vintage clothes. Definitely going to get tattoos and piercings here too. And I have also just seen down the road Joe's Pizza, which is very famous. And a lot of people told me to try that too, although I think it's kind of gone viral on TikTok and been a little bit overhyped, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to bother or not, because I know where I'm going next today also has cool places to eat, so I'm on the fence whether I should eat here or not. But I'm definitely not on the fence about shopping here. Let's go and spend some money. So I'm just a little bit up the street from a place called the Mini Mall, which was recommended, so I'm going to go in there in just a tick. But as I arrived, I walked past this really cool looking gift shop. So I'm going to have a little peeper in there. Let me show you the window. This is called Bodie Clothing and Gifts. They have some, obviously, clothes and things outside, but they also have some really nice gifts. And March is the month of birthdays in my household, so I'm kind of seeing if there's any cute little things that I can grab there. Let's go inside. I'm always sure to ask whenever I go inside a store whether it's okay to film, and she said her boss doesn't let people take pictures, so I didn't film inside there, sadly, but it was really cute. They had lots of little like affirmation cards, some clothes a little bit overpriced, but I picked up a little gift for my wonderful husband who turns 34 at the beginning of March. So I'm not going to show you what it is because I'm not sure whether this video is going to be live before his birthday and it will ruin the surprise, but I will show you it on TikTok when he opens it, and I know he's gonna love it and probably cry because he is a bit of a crybaby. I just walked past the Mini Mall, so let's go in there next. Oh my god, it's just shop after shop here and I love it. So here is the Mini Mall. It says cool shops inside. No, you're good. I saw this ring shop. I saw this ring shop when I was in here before, but I was on the phone, and they have just the most stunning rings. I'm going to be trying some of them on because I kind of want to get, I've wanted for a while a little thumb ring, so I'm going to have a look at some of these designs and see if any of them would sit nice and flat as a thumb ring. So just as you come into the Mini Mall and you turn off right, there is this super cute store called Pinky Yodo or Pinky Yotto or however you want to say it, I've been told. And they have some really, really beautiful clothes. The quality is insane. I absolutely love it. Oh, hi, that's me. They have some changing rooms so you can try some things on. But the thing that caught my eye, because I am a jewelry fiend, they have some of the most gorgeous earrings and accessories. They're all so shiny. I absolutely love these with the flowers here. They are absolutely stunning. Some necklaces and the coolest shades. I'm a sucker for sunglasses too, and I feel like I have an excuse now I live in Florida. I need at least one pair of sunglasses for every day of the week. And I've been obsessed with a recent pair that I got from Old Navy that I haven't taken off my face for weeks, but some of these styles are super cool, so I might have to try them on. See what they look like. I don't think I'm edgy enough for something like this. But there are some classic styles too. Yeah, they have everything color coordinated. And the storefront's cool. They have bear heads. I'm going to try and get a shot of the outside too. And they have a variety of seasonal stuff too, which I'm pleased about because obviously I'm not here to buy sweaters, but I could definitely be here to buy some blouses. Just bought the cutest little huggy shell earrings that are going to do so well in Florida. Let me show you. I don't know how well you can see those. I love them. Okay, what else is here? Tattoos and piercings. Lots of tattoos, lots of piercings. There's like a hair salon, which is really cool. Look at those chairs. Amazing. Some more vintage shops. This one's actually closed, which is a shame because it looks like it's got really cool waistcoats in, and I love a waistcoat. Sunglasses and things in there. I'm running out of time. I want to dive in some more shops along the street, so I'm going to have to get out of here and skedoodle. But yeah, would 10/10 recommend. I am actually tempted to get a piercing, but I don't think I have time. No, Amber, you don't have time. Amber, you do not have time. Move on. I've been thinking about getting another ear piercing for a while now, and it would be a cool memento, but I'll just stick with my little shell huggy earrings and call it a day. Okay, this is the same shop that I was just in. It looks like they have the premises next door too, and I completely missed it because look, they have the most amazing headbands that I don't need but also want. I'm trying to become more of a headband girly. Those are the bear heads that I was telling you about. Kind of cool, kind of freaky. I'll let you decide. And then right across the street is Joe's Pizza. Am I going to get a Joe's Pizza? Okay, fine, let's do it. Here we are. People told me to get a classic slice, but they didn't have any regular cheese pizza, so I got the pepperoni, which to be honest would be my preference anyway. As you can see, I've already had a bite. There was absolutely no way that I could film myself taking a bite because this piece of pizza is so big. I couldn't pick it up. I couldn't pick it up and eat it at the same time, but I'm going to say it. It's pretty good pizza. It's pretty good. It's got a lot of awards going on up here and lots of famous people eating it. And I understand why. Okay, that pizza was good. I didn't want to say it in there because the staff were really close by. The pizza was very good. Taste 10/10. But it was a little bit greasy. Not going to lie. It was nice and hot, which I appreciate. But it was $4 a slice, I think. And I have to say, I have had, on previous visits to New York, I have had 99-cent pizza that's been just as good. Okay, that is the end of my little whistle-stop morning in Brooklyn. I have been to Dumbo, I have been to Williamsburg, I have explored, I think thrifted. I suppose not thrifted, I've vintage shopped. They look like vintage thrift shops from the outside, but they end up being vintage stores when you go inside, or just really cool, quirky brands. So without the camera on, I did have a bit more of a dive through some of the cheaper bins and stuff with two hands. And yeah, I've generally had a really nice time here, and I definitely feel like it's more livable and more like homely and a bit slower paced than Manhattan. So I don't know, I've met a lot of people from here that have always said, oh yeah, I live in Brooklyn because I'm poor or whatever. But honestly, as long as I didn't need to be commuting into the city for work, I would choose Brooklyn over Manhattan. Let me know if that's controversial. And make sure that you are staying tuned in next week because I will be going to Queens. I'm getting a tour of Queens from somebody that you might recognize from the old TikTok. So I'm really excited to go and do that and see, again, some more of the local, off of the tourist path area. And of course, I will be filming that and documenting it. So make sure that you are here. Please make sure to comment and let me know what you thought of this episode. If there's anywhere... probably try not to get that lingerie shop in the back of my shop there. She's got her boobies out. If there's anything that I really didn't do that I need to do, I will 100% be coming back here. So let me know. And thank you very much for watching. It is always appreciated. See you real soon.